even in Chi, I never said anything wrong against Nkrumah. If you want to be truthful. I said Mokwame Nkrumah. So I'm sorry, I'll never say that again. If you go and twist what I say in your MPP, I might forgive you. But if you're another political party, I'll take you straight to court. And no matter the begging, I'll take you. Go and beg. Mogabe is begging. The cleric is begging. Sammy is begging. But still, I'll take my money and give it to charity.
You think that NAPO fancy nipa miensa wi? Ube say the asa na America. Wouldn't say NAPO e nipa 3 bia we see wo. In fact, ba akokra the judgment aba me nipa na say oye appeal, but then appeal no ahwe be pass kenti nipa kra join ni Adom me say omo nko pa chew. Now asema me chi any Sammy Gyamfi, there is a Tafu chief imam bi and afin so no Mogabe masi. Omo miensa ene NAPO e wo case. Each of these people be an NAPO esi wo. In fact, Sammy Gyamfi will see no for I think it's 1 million. The other two, eye Mogabe masi ene the Tafu chief imam no die. Omo mienu case ni nyen decide ye. Bezisi am no ka say omo na wachire e pa chew and NAPO na nkasa etimi aka de e koso behind the scenes so chim so omo ba e de mpanifo aba nanim so many times e pa chew by NAPO say atopa na wonye ntum kiana ki obeji sika no obema court di asem na jisika no di sika na koche children's home next time o kan asema fa ho a obetwe yi o kai a when the Mokwame Nkrumah statement na NAPO ko kai no me ba cho no nso nya ho asem e wo menhia otumfo esaman no aha otumfo frɛ no e ma otimi be chichi because obi ko report ni mo otumfo a whole lot.
Why did you make the remark about Nkrumah when you were being adored?
Thank you. Thank you. So, 2.5 months ago, World Bank comes with a report and says that since 1957, one of the best social policies Ghana has ever implemented is free SHS. And Prof, go and listen to, not follow what people have said, go and listen to what I said. I said since independence, since Kwame Nkrumah, nobody has done what Addo has done in education. Nobody. Nobody. The whole of the number of students in a school, from primary to university, at Kwame Nkrumah was not 1 million. SSS Nkrumah 1 million. And Nkrumah did never had free education. In fact, he is the president that instituted Northern Student Scholarship. It was only for Northern students, and it became Northern Extraction Scholarship. When those Northerners in the South, if he wanted to enjoy the scholarship, he extended it. That is why in President Mahama's book, he said that because of Northern Student Scholarship or Northern Extraction Scholarship, even though his father was one of the richest people up north, and they were in boarding housing, I think, Achimota Primary, they moved he and his siblings to go and enjoy it up in the north. So it was not about Nkrumah. It was about policies that have been done from Nkrumah through all the presidents to Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. And I still insist, no president has done education what Nana Addo Akufo-Addo has done. Anyway, I had to go to Akuffo. How do you go to Nkrumah?
It's still with him. The microphone is still with him. Okay.
Immediately I was adored. I went through that pathway and I ended up in Western region. So I had to make a detour. And
I think Prof has a follow-up.
NAPO,
Prof.
The context you have explained is really different from the way you said it. In the tree.
I knew you would go there.
Yes. You see, and it really put you in a very awkward political, situation. And some of us really felt bad for that. See, now you've explained it in a context that makes sense. But you see, if you go back to the tree,
we'll do an exegesis of the tree, and you realize that even in tree, I never said anything wrong against Nkrumah. If you want to be truthful, I said Mokwame Nkrumah. telling you, that was an MPP political platform. It was an MPP political platform. And I wanted to make a distinction between Kwame Nkrumah's values and Unite UP values. And even in Chi, me, I support Manchester United. You support Chelsea. So if I'm a Manchester United fan, and I say, Mo Chelsea, no. You see, I do agree that the person, when the opponents want to twist, I suffered from the twisting of the language. Because, so let me tell you the serious thing that happened. It was not the people that blasted me. Before I went onto the platform, we had gone to Nhyira, and Akuffo had spoken. The day after, he called me and said, when are you coming to Kumasi? Because you have been reported to me. So the first time I'm saying this publicly. So I went to Kumasi after 2 weeks and said, what did you go and say on the platform? I said, Your Majesty, I would never repeat what I said on the platform, but I'll get you the tape so that you repeat. You heard it. Said, oh, somebody came here with a, just like you are holding that sheet. So I said, His Majesty, I don't know the person. I bet you the person is a CPP. And he sat back. So a few months later, he said, I said, call the person and call me. Akuffo went to London a few months after, and he was going to the British Museum. So when I entered to go and greet him, that I'm coming to support him, there was a gentleman sitting next to him. And then he started talking about all what had been done against the Ashanti state. And that if I ever make a mistake, he will make sure that I end my political career. Just then, God is so good. The person who went to tell him the faith entered. So he asked him, you came to tell me NAPO has said it. What is it that NAPO said? The man nearly collapsed. I'm telling you, when he was coming back, the man was in hospital. He collapsed, right? Because it had been twisted. And that same person had gone to my grand uncle, Akuffo, to tell him that on the stage, I didn't even mention his name. I mentioned Addo. And that all I said is that what he has come to do was rubbish. Look at that. So I do accept the fact that in a political communication in that milieu, you have to be careful. But that's why I went to in Kofi and explained what I said. And the chiefs even didn't tell me to apologize. Because they realized how I said it was not wrong, but how it had been interpreted by people with a distinction in a certain political dimension. But when World Bank said it, it was correct. It was good. So I'm sorry, I'll never say that again.
Apologies.
Now, young child will be a when him say the command I pursue Sammy Gyamfi. It was around 2019 when when the Canadian maybe I say a kidnapping or near the Sammy Gyamfi the Korea politics. Eko train NAPO be mu chire mu say NAPO you be a sedu umba o say sedu MBA bi na yes so involved in that Canadian kidnapping allegations mu no. There was a time as Sammy Gyamfi ko kan say bi say sa boy no NAPO boy. And so as we implicating NAPO that Canadian kidnapping incident, eventually NAPO didn't go pay more court. We see for 1 million Ghana cedis. In fact, that 1 million Ghana cedis court 8 me ruling HM says Sammy Gyamfi empacho na on retracted statement no into 500,000 Ghana cedis, which is 5 billion. All right, Enfama NAPO Asempa. Eventually Sammy Gyamfi 8 me akwes or ya appeal. Yenye hu di appeal no copy but NAPO chirema Sammy Gyamfi aka eye enipa bia boma mo matimi aba ne nchen se omo paato na se sika na court ama ruling ni ato the defamation ni ade no enka NAPO entwensan NAPO sika no beje. Then came the Tafu chief imam nensu case ono so ne NAPO enyaye okaya ono so there was the issue of LGBTQ or witimi ko chim say NAPO as education minister etime boy say we gay what you saying because we gay ntikura no witimi fa say the LGBTQ akoshe Ghana Education Service, a curriculum, and that Tafu chief imam ni chill say because NAPO ye gain until the day I appointing as the running mate to Baumiano na appointing me ware so ye appointing or ye fast eko ware or baby the roof any penny so because one person bit me aka so ye in fact that was a whole lot chief imam ne kan so in short no che say NAPO ye gay and that is why na appointing me ware and that ye hwe NAPO ware nkwa na okọ ware maame na NAPO ware na say NAPO ye sesi na camera beat and NAPO na yere de what you say but behind the scenes say NAPO that was chief imam no ono so NAPO timi di ko pie mu court for 10 million Ghana cedis na say na won sem buy NAPO chema that afu chief imam ono so aka dom ho amono so omo pa acho still NAPO si ontie then came Mogabe ma say na say okay when the doom so eba den ewo Ashanti region titru it's about a month or two ago na Mogabe ma say koye program bia during that program nso obo audio bia audio ne suggest say NAPO na denta wo ma free so etimi ekoche ECG regional directors BHE ewo ECG wa Ashanti region ma wo so yetua sika mo so mundundum light bebiri ewo kumase mfa sabotage abanwi that audio ne buy no NAPO ekosiwie for 10 million nso case nyen decide here that is Mogabe Masi ono nso kira Mogabe Masi nso de domaba so nipa miensa Sammy Gyamfi Tafu imam eni Mogabe Masi omiensa nyina e pa acho se be ya NAPO entry case ne nsan ebusi according to NAPO se kian ne kin nehi onje ntum case no bedi no be kicho se sika obenya free bia no o de baka ko chenyanka ebusi yentie NAPO.
This is an observation, and possibly being on MPP platforms, these are some comments from our people in terms of delegate and MPP sympathizers. It's about how you have been framed in the political space and how sometimes you choose some words and you express some words. And it appears we have some concerns with that. For example, today, there are two key expressions that you have said in a person. One is a poor country like Ghana, we are giving birth like crazy, just in a person. This is a quotation just today. Then another quotation, it appears the professors couldn't read. Just within the context, we get it. But if these quotations are taken outside this context, it becomes something different, and it reinforces your image and your political, the framing around you that NAPO is, in quotes, negative or is causing a harm to the political brand of MPP. How do you, we want you to work on some of these things and going forward. Thank you.
Like you just did without the context, right? But you don't have to work on making sure your statements are contextual. Right. You see, communication is a two-way thing. Like Prof said it. When I talked about Nkrumah, most of the reportage were clearly twisted. Clearly. When the same voice was played now, just because the World Bank had said so, people reacted differently. So I live in the political space, and when people want to take your words and twist it, they would always do. But I can assure you, it will only last a short time. I'm not worried about people who have been intentional about twisting words, because before I started this running mate matter, nobody ever went on air and said I was arrogant. But the team sat down and did a SWOT analysis and said, if we want to tag this guy, the only thing we should say. And every radio commentator said the same thing. And none of them had even met me. So we are in a political space. But the reason why I don't let it bother me much is that those who do that, they are easily found out. I'll give you 3 cases. When somebody accused me, now the person, the CEO, that I've killed Canadian women in Kumasi, I took the person to court. I never went on air to respond. I won the case. The person went on appeal. Now, the person's wife's father dies, and I go to the funeral. And people, if you stay in social media, they were insulting me like crazy. That person whose wife's father had died is not a family member of the dead man. He's just married to one of the man's children. He has no, those who are sitting and insulting have no idea whether I know the man who is dead or not in the relationship. The man has lived in Kumasi all his life. I've lived in Kumasi all my life. His children have lived in Kumasi all my life. They don't care. They just feel like insulting. Right? But the fact that I've gone, even when you read Ecclesiastes 7:2, where talk about what he talks about mourning. Right? So I'm not worried about that. But yes, it's because people like we just done. You take things out of context and publish it and then turn around and tell me that I should change when you don't bring your context. The second one was the Muslim cleric that was insulting Dr. Bawumia, accusing him of being gay, accusing him of eating pigs, accusing him of all sorts of things for 3 years. No Muslim in MPP stood up against that man. Till he went to say the same thing about me. I said, I'm not going to speak. I'm going to take him to court. Now, the people who are begging for the man, if I tell you where they are coming from, you'll be shocked. Just last week, it was published. The same people have taken the man to go and sit near Dr. Bawumia. And Dr. Bawumia is asking why he done all what he did. Fantastic. That is leadership. The fact that somebody says something bad about you doesn't mean when you meet the person, you insult the person. No, that is not leadership. That is actually called fake leadership. And I'll never indulge in that. The last thing was Mogabe. They said there's a radio station guy called Mogabe. He said, he played a voice that I was following, he was following me with a motorbike. And I was going around giving 150,000 to ECG directors to bring them. I was extremely rich. I laughed. Because when I got the tape, I cut the clip. Because the whole of April, I was not in Ghana. I left Ghana 8th April. I came in May. So when they said he was following the people, I wasn't even in Ghana. I wasn't in Ghana. So I went straight to court. Now his people are begging. If you go and twist what I say in your MPP, I might forgive you. But if you're another political party, I'll take you straight to court. If more MPP people are taking people who have said horrible things about them to court, they would have stopped. You know what happened to the Muslim cleric on the most holy Islam day, Day of the Eid? The embarrassment he suffered. All the senior clerics said, go away. You come here and you come and insult people on a political platform. Who has been more disgraced? The things that he said that you are worried about, or the disgrace that he has suffered on the holiday. So we have to understand that people who want to twist and say things would always do it, especially now with social media. Before you go here, somebody has said everything. But I tell you, if you say things about me and it's not true, I'll take you to where you don't want to go. And no matter the begging, I'll take you. Go and beg. Mogabe is begging. The cleric is begging. Sammy is begging. But still, I'll take my money and give it to charity.